Katia. Thank you so much for coming to our show. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and sharing my story and listening to all these other great women.
Well, thank you so much again. And I have a lot of questions because your story, initially, face value, is very interesting. And I think that our community is curious about it or would be curious about it as well. Specifically, your transition. So you started in hospitality management, moved
Correct.
to the sports business, and now you're a publisher account director at Taboola. And so that's a very diverse sales path. Can you maybe tell me a little bit more about that and how all of these stops helped influence where you are today and has helped shape your team at Taboola?
Of course. And thank you for this question. It's a loaded question, but I think I have a good answer. So, first of all, I'm also new to sales. This is my first officially sales job, and it has been a learning curve. But as you said, I started with hospitality management. And to answer the question, there are like three parts to it. One is transferable skills, adaptability, and people. So this is how I am able to shape my team through my experience, right? So in terms of transferable skills, I think every job at every industry has its learnings. So I studied hospitality management. I worked in hospitality management. I worked in events and tourism, that area, right? I learned how to serve people, to pay attention to every detail. But I also learned how hard it is to be on the other side. I learned how to stand for hours behind the front desk,
Mhm.
sometimes taking night shifts, roll up my sleeves to carry boxes. So this gave me a lot of perspective and also taught me to look at both sides, right? The client and the behind the desk side. Um, I learned how my actions can make someone's day. It can make it amazing or it can make it terrible, and both will be remembered. So I learned that it is my choice to make that impact and decide which one is it going to be. When I worked in sports, I worked for the International Charity Foundation for the Future of Fencing. It is a foundation that was focusing on developing the sport of fencing around the world. Here, I learned a lot about ambition by being exposed to professional athletes constantly trying really, really hard, working hard towards their gold medal, right? But I also learned that we really need to focus in helping others. So everyone has the same opportunities to participate and be successful. Hence, the development of sport around the world, fencing particularly. Not everyone has access to a training area. Not everyone has access to resources, equipment, travel resources. So this is where I learned that there is a load out there that we need to help to provide everyone that equal opportunity. So that's in terms of transferable skills. All these skills help me be who I am today. In terms of adaptability, by working in different industries, you just have to adapt. You have no choice. Adapt to new people, new priorities, new processes, and shifting to a position of knowing something to having to learn a whole new industry again, and by being humble in the process. The only constant is change, whether you like it or not. So you may as well embrace it with open arms. Um, and then lastly, I would say people. And this is to me the most important part. Um, it's all about hospitality, it's all about service and how you make people feel. When I talk about people in a professional setting, or in sales, for example, I talk about internal client and external client. Both are equally important, if not crucial, for a business success. Without my team, I have nothing. Without my clients, I have nothing. And a product is nothing without its people, right? So, my biggest secret for success is just being emphatic. I'm so sorry for my accent.
No,
English is
it's
not
fine.
my language.
It's great. I've, you're fine.
Thank you. But it sounds like a cliche, right? You have to be empathic to people, but it works. I always try to think, what would I like, in that situation if I were in those shoes, and then I try to add a little extra. Um, and lastly, I always tell my team that they will encounter all sorts of people. Some people are just the nicest, and some people are not so nice. And especially in the sales industry, um, you will encounter rude people, and that's okay. What matters is that you just not let someone else's bad day make your day bad, right? So go back to empathy. Also, think that you don't know what's going on with that person's day, what they're going through with life. So just be nice.
Honestly, one of the biggest things that's sticking out to me is service.
Yeah.
And I love your bit about internal clients and external clients, because especially in a lot of us are either dealing in remote or hybrid or different environments where we may not have all the face-to-face interactions we want all the time with our teams,
Yeah.
but operating from a place of positivity and goodwill usually does help have more positive interactions. So
100%. A happy person at work is gonna translate in a happy client.
yes, yes. And now I'm curious about your work expansion. So you've transformed the publisher US SMB business at Taboola and then expanded your responsibilities to manage the Latin American business as a part of your book of business. And that's incredible. And I'd love to learn more about what strategies or initiatives did you implement that contributed to this transformation?
Of course. Yeah, and this is a big thing for me. I'm really excited about this opportunity, and it's just it, I have to thank my team for this. But to answer your question, as I said before, I focus on people. Internally, we spend a lot of time working on training, sharing feedback, development. And this is it's crucial for me that my team knows that I care, that I care about their well being, their growth, and them being happy. Externally, my motto is no client is a small client. Everyone deserves the same attention, the same respect. Um, and why? Because we're dealing with people's businesses, we're dealing with their job, we're dealing with their success, their income. So we should treat that as the most important thing we have, right? With our clients, we're nothing. But again, it's a huge responsibility because you don't know who you're working with, and their job may depend on it. The success that you provide, their business is, it might be their income, right? So what we did is we took the business and we met with each one of the clients just so they know that we care about everything about them. It's about them. And we also did from the strategic point of view, we did a segmentation on our business. We created different buckets um, and different tiers. So each bucket has a specific touch point or sets of touch points that is showing them that we actually care. We do a lot of tracking. We track every touch point. We track every opportunity, upselling opportunity for each one of the clients. It's really a lot of tracking, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of, in our case, implementations. What can be upsold, what cannot be upsold, what's working, what's not, etc. And this really helped my team to have structure and a clear plan to achieve their goals per quarter. And I think we have been successful with that. We have been meeting and exceeding quota for a year now, which is really, really awesome.
Right.
And this also allowed us to change the narrative within the industry. And we went from being reactive to proactive. I think that is key in every single business that you manage in sales. Because when you're proactive, you have control, you have knowledge. So, and then as for the challenges, they will come towards you. Like, you just try to stay focused and ignore the noise.
So I love that. I think that what I got out of that is the tracking and the attention to detail allows you to have more to forecast better and
Yes.
be more in control of your outcomes. I know sometimes you can feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on, and want to that may be the time when you want to take your foot off the gas, but that's actually the time that you should be even more leaned in and being more clear about what your clients needs and where they're missing more touches or more support. So I appreciate that. I am curious about the Latin America piece,
Okay.
because what does it mean to have the Latin America book of business in addition to the US book of business? Is it both? Is it one or the other? I would love to learn, what did that expansion mean for you in your career?
For me, it meant more responsibility and two more people who report into me.
Got it.
So it is great for me. I always wanted it because I am originally, well, I grew up in Mexico City, so I am Mexican. So working with my people is just awesome. Helping them grow their business, even better, right? So, um, as I said, it's a new set of responsibilities. It's another book of business that I need to grow and I need to excel and exceed quota. So that comes with developing my account managers, helping them grow, helping them learn, and applying that strategy that I applied in the US to LATAM and see if it works or if it needs a little bit of tweak.
Yeah. No, that's good. I love Mexico City, by the way. I went to Mexico City a couple years ago. I stayed in Roma and Condesa,
The
and
best part.
I love it there. I had such great food. I got a reservation at a restaurant called Pujul. Pujul.
Pujol, yes.
I
I
had
understand this.
mole. I had mole, all kinds of mole. It was really good. And then a
You
met.
got the experience. You got the experience. Did you like Molly?
It's an acquired taste. I
It
wasn't
is.
I wasn't sure, but I like the overall like smoky flavors that seem to be in a lot of the dishes and in
Yeah.
like everything. So I really enjoyed it. It was
We
really
use a lot of pepper and all these different forms and shapes.
yes. And I'm first generation American. My family's from the Caribbean, so they love spicy food, and I'm the one that does not like spicy food. So
That's
it's
so
I don't like spicy at all, but I really enjoyed the culture. I did a lot of bike riding up and down in the city. It's a very big biking culture. I really enjoyed it. So thank you
I'm
for sharing.
glad to hear that, and thank you for saying it.
Yes, thank you for sharing. A couple last questions for you. So I know that you're super passionate about growing your team. That is very clear. And you've even promoted people on your team and continue to help them develop. I would love to hear just one story about how you've helped someone overcome a particular development challenge. Obviously, don't have to go into the details about the individual issue, but just your reflections of how you help grow a particular grow someone on your team who may be struggling with something specific.
Yeah, I actually love this example. My now most senior account manager, he started at Taboola as an associate account manager. And when I first joined, he has already been there for 6 months. This person I noticed from the beginning, incredibly talented, incredibly smart, analytical, he just got it. Um, but I also saw a lot of opportunities, right? Same as me, different country, perhaps some language barriers, some communication styles. So what we did is, without going into the weeds on this, we worked closely um, for like we spent a lot of hours. We spent a lot of hours reading client emails, figuring out how to answer. And by the way, he helped me on board too because he knew a lot about Taboola, but I knew a lot about client management and helping shape him into being the right. How do you say it? In being a great account manager for his clients and being able to communicate clearly, for example. So we provide a structure, we work on the series of opportunities, and after 3 years, he's now my senior account manager, and he's the person I relied on when I went on maternity leave, and now he's someone who I trust on on everything, to lead projects, help me train new staff, manage our largest clients. So I'm really proud of this person.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that is really touching. Some people, I know I never forget, a sales manager that had a very positive impact on me. I think that we often reflect on that. Who was that person that you will never forget for the rest of your career that has had such a memorable impact? And it sounds like you were that person for him.
I
So
hope so. And we, as you said, we all have that person, and that person motivates us to be that person for someone else.
yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I know that we're coming up on the end of our show, so let me just ask one last question. Um,
Okay.
we're in a world of establishing innovation and collaboration, and that's the theme of the week, theme of the day, theme of the month, theme of the year. I would love to understand. I know you spoke about your methods for keeping things on track and the data collection and the touch points and the different tiers for touch points and client service, client first mentality, and bringing in your hospitality background. Really, really incredible. What about collaboration and innovation that stems from collaboration? How are you all working on that right now?
So I think the most important thing is exposure. I try to make sure that my team is exposed to other teams locally and globally, so they learn how others work, so they share knowledge. We are a global company, so we have offices in APAC, we have offices in EMEA, in LATAM. All these teams have something to share. All those clients are different, and what they are doing great there, we could potentially apply here, and vice versa. So I try to expose my team to other teams, as I said. Um, Also to expose them to leadership, so my leadership sees that they're talented and they start paying attention on them. That's in terms of growth, of course. But the other thing is, I want my team to know that what they have to say, what they have to contribute matters. Their knowledge is valuable to someone. So I guess an example of this would be how we partner with our sales team. So we as account managers, we know the clients, we know what works best, what doesn't. We know we have intel on the industry. We are the ear of the industry because we have our clients. When our sales team is selling to a new client, we often collaborate. We often help them perhaps analyze a website and say, you know what, this would work better here. Why don't you move this here? Why? Because in this industry, readers are this, behave this way, etc. We can help them troubleshoot everything. So sharing is caring, and we just cannot function without each other. So we have to collaborate, because if they win, we win, and if we win, they win. So
I love that. And it's true. I think the spirit of partnership, and I like that you described the account management team as an ear to the industry. And I think getting that intel from your team is probably transformative for the sales teams that you partner with. And
yeah, and
innovative, I think, too.
yeah, exactly. The thing that I, did not mention, and I think it's crucial, we learn from them too. Like, they are experts in selling. So yes, we have to upsell, and we already have the clients, but they help us and give us tactics on how to upsell, how to get that yes at the end.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much for your time today. It was really wonderful spending time with you. Thank you for sharing all about your background and the way that you lead. And I really hope that you have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.